Eric Trump appears to be on a path of trying to set a record for the number of stupid things he can say in a single interview. And he attempted to break his previous record this week in an interview with Fox News host Brian Kilmeade on Fox and Friends. During that interview, Kilmeade asked Eric, "So Eric, your dad's going to be on trial. How's he going to campaign?" To which Eric Trump boasted that every time his dad walks into one of those courtrooms, they get millions of dollars. So this is actually a totally awesome thing for his dad. Here's how that exchange went down. Brian Kilmeade asks, "For 6 to 8 weeks, he could be stuck in a New York courtroom. That's Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10 hours a day. How do you overcome that? What's the plan to overcome it? It's not going to be a surprise." And Eric Trump, as arrogant and stupid as ever, said this: "Every single time he walks into a courtroom, millions and millions of dollars flow in because the American people know exactly what's happening to him." That's actually pretty interesting that you would say that, Eric, because the American people also know how much money he doesn't have, right? That's why he spent this past Saturday dialing for dollars to the very people who were going to show up that evening at his fundraiser. And also, for the record, nobody believes that he actually raised $50 million last Saturday evening. He has been struggling to raise money. He has been hounding his own staffers to make these phone calls, get people to start giving. So he's not raising millions and millions of dollars every time he walks into a courtroom. If anything, based on his past appearances in the courtrooms, they're costing him hundreds of millions of dollars. So no, Eric, he is not raising money hand over fist every time he walks into a courtroom. He is in fact losing it. $464 million in the fraud trial, $83 million in the E. Jean Carroll trial, $5 million from the E. Jean Carroll trial last year. That's not money coming in, Eric. He has to pay that. So I don't know what you think those judgments really are, but it's not money that he gets. It's money that he has to pay. I don't think you understand that. And then Eric Trump continued. You got to get a couple shots in at Judge Juan Merchan here. "And you have a judge who has a family member who literally profits off these cases. She was making millions and millions off of these cases, whose Twitter profile is literally my father behind bars, and that's what New York has become." That's slander, you asshole. None of what you just said about this person who is not a public official is true. That thing about her Twitter feed and that picture, she doesn't own that Twitter account and hasn't for over a year. But you're falsely accusing her of something that has now publicly been debunked, so you should have known it was not her Twitter account. Therefore, because there is a reasonable expectation that you should have known, she can sue you right now. She can and should. Not to mention the fact that she obviously has not made millions and millions and millions off of these trials. That is also a lie. Her clients, her campaigns have nothing to do with these trials. So if I were the judge's daughter, I would be talking to a lawyer right now about how best to sue Eric Trump for these statements that he made publicly on live television this week, because those are absolutely slanderous comments that could and should get him sued. But he didn't stop there. No, he had a lot more stupid stuff to say. Brian Kilmeade asked him, why was it necessary for her, talking about his wife Lara Trump, and Michael Whatley to take over the RNC? And Eric responded and said, they had to restore trust in the RNC. The first thing that they did is they went in there and they got rid of the vast majority of the RNC, and there were a lot of never-Trumpers there, I hate to say it. And the second they did that, all of a sudden the spigots got turned on and, there was confidence. The RNC and the campaign are working as one right now. Yeah, they're working as one, which is why they're struggling to get any donations at all. Not to mention, they got rid of all the staffers. Yeah, and now they have a staffing crisis to the point where they can't properly run campaigns. So you can brag about that all you want, but the truth is your wife came in, nuked the RNC, and it is not recovering. So you're an idiot, you're a liar, You're potentially facing a pretty massive slander lawsuit, and your wife is also very bad at her new job. So congratulations, Eric. I think you may have set the record for the number of dumb things you can say in a single interview this week.